I think for me, the advice would be whatever your dream is, do it. Do your research, but don't be afraid to give it a go. There is a way. You just need to find it. If you have the dream in your heart, go for it. Find what makes you happy, what brings joy to your life, because then if you're enjoying life, then you can share that joy with other people, with your friends and family members and other people you encounter. And
Let's talk about buying a property in Italy. Have you ever thought about buying a property? We did, as have many others. In our new series, From Dream to Reality, here are their stories. Make it happen. Welcome everyone. Buona giornata. I'm Anna.
I'm Michael.
And welcome back to Casa Mia Salentina and our Dream to Reality series. And before we get in, we just want to quickly say hello and thank you to all our new subscribers and to all the lovely discussions and conversations that is going on at the moment on the YouTube, on the Instagram, and through our emails. So it's sort of sparked a lot of conversation, and more so for those that are from Australia that cannot buy homes at the moment with the new law, but also people that are actually in amongst doing it right now. And then we've got a couple actually going over at the moment to meet up with Anna Maria to look at some property.
Yeah.
So we've got some going into the Salento region as well. So talking about Salento, we have a couple that we've actually already met. So we met this couple. They're actually neighbours, 100 metres down the road, who purchased in Galatina, where we are, and they are from the UK. And we made a lot of friends in the last couple of years. So I think sometimes we don't sort of expect, you buy a house, you go over there, oh, I've got to learn the language, what's it going to be like meeting people? And you don't sort of think of it, it just sort of falls into place and you suddenly making friends. And the best thing about it, the most rewarding experience is that we've kept that friendship. So our couple today, we'd like to introduce and welcome now Dave and Renay Banco from the UK.
Hi, guys.
hello.
Welcome.
Long time no see.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
The last time we were having drinks in Galatina, I think.
We were.
We
That's
were,
right.
and then you guys left, and then we were keeping track on your property, particularly when they were redoing the streets
Yes,
in
some
front of
photos. That's great.
your property
Yes.
and take the photos for you. So
Yeah, now we've mentioned sometimes on our videos that Dave was sending us photos of the updates, and this is Dave, so can put a face to it now. So that's right. Renay, you must have been there also directing how to take the photo.
Oh, actually, no, that was all him. That was all him.
There you go.
I'm the photographer.
He's such a good job with photography. I leave him to it. So
that's his job. Oh, that's terrific. All right, Michael, we'll start then.
All right.
We'll get into this now.
All right, got the questions on the phone here. Okay, all right. So what inspired your decision to buy a property in Italy?
Right. So let me give you a little backstory first. So we're not English, if you could tell by the accent. We're actually American.
Yes.
And we traveled all over the US had the privilege with my work to be able to do that. And then we went on a family holiday to England, and we thought, what an awesome experience it would be if we had the opportunity to go and live in another country. But we were kind of afraid of the language barrier and stuff. So we thought, well, England would probably be the best if we're going to take that sort of a step in order to do so. And within a few years of us having that conversation and thinking about it, the opportunity came up through my work. And so I transferred with my job to just outside of London in 2006. And it's been amazing because, we had traveled all over the US and into a bit of Mexico and Canada, and now we've had the opportunity to travel all over Europe, and which is just amazing. And I love history and art and just the culture, the different cultures. Just love experiencing the different cultures that are, and there's so much variety here in Europe in a relatively uh, close proximity. You don't have to, in the United States, you have to drive hundreds of miles to see the type of change that you can see in, 20 or 30 miles, or let me switch to kilometers, to, a few kilometers in Europe. And so we've enjoyed that. We've really enjoyed being here, and thought that was
absolutely.
worthwhile. But then COVID hit. We all remember COVID,
Yep.
Yes.
and we're very busy with work, and we were active in our community, and just everything came to a halt during COVID. I also got a chance to sit back and think, and we were in the back garden and realizing the fact that, like it or not, we're getting older. and
What flashes
it's
before
not,
you?
yeah, well, retirement is approaching. I mean, at the time it was still probably about 15 years away, but considering, that's fewer years than there were before, than in our working career and stuff. So we started thinking about, well, where would we like to retire? And again, with the pandemic of COVID, really made you stop and think. And it was a difficult time. It was a sad time. We know, we lost friends and family members during that period. But one of the things that inspired us, it's in us to do, is to live our life now
Yeah.
and not wait, because you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Exactly.
And I would rather set the stage for what we're going to do retirement now than wait until I'm 70 and then try to figure it out and try to do that. And
Beautiful.
so we were sitting around and kicking around the idea and said, well, what, of all the places that we've been in Europe, and we've been to Spain and France and Belgium and Netherlands and Germany and Switzerland and Austria, and, it's amazing places, but by far Italy is our favorite. And so we definitely felt, without a doubt, Italy was our happy place. If we're going to go anywhere, we wanted to move to Italy. And then it was, okay, north or south, the mountains or the sea, and we decided that we wanted to focus on, we wanted to be closer to the sea. Although we love the mountains, if we're going to be what we want to be around all the time, we just love the sea.
Yeah.
So we wanted to look at someplace that's coastal, that has a variety of coastline that we can explore and enjoy, and from swimming and boating and, just going out for walks in the evening along the seaside. Um, that's where we would more prefer to spend more of our time. And then, of course, then when you're looking at from an economic standpoint, the South is, for the most part, definitely less expensive than the North.
Right. Yes.
Far
And
less expensive than like in Milan, or
well, even the
even,
Lakes area or Venice area, Veneto.
Yeah.
all of that is much. I mean, it's less expensive than it is here for us in London, but it's a lot less there. And for our retirement, retirement funds can go a lot further
Mm,
in southern Italy than it would in
yeah.
northern Italy.
And a lot of people are saying that it's a really big, I mean, one, what you said earlier on about life flashes before you, just start to think about your life more in retirement and things like that, especially when something's taken away from you, as it was in 2020, 2021 for everyone. And two, yeah, you're thinking of how far will your funds go? Like, you know, at the
Yes.
Yeah,
moment with
absolutely.
inflation all over. I mean, you just can't buy property here in Australia at all. It's just, you know, the future for our younger generation is just really, really hard. And there it is affordable, as is life in general, you know, like your medical, your food and everything. So
Mm.
yeah, very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep going with my story if that's okay, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Um, so we had our original plan was we had a couple areas that we had in mind. Now we had not been to Puglia before, or the Salento region. We'd been to Sicily, we'd been to a lot of other areas. We kind of liked Le Marche, as which is for those that may not be familiar is on the Adriatic side, so it's on the east side of Italy, almost directly across from Tuscany, and it's very similar to Tuscany, but a little bit less expensive. And has a nice coastline and stuff, but I mean, it doesn't have the architecture or anything of Florence,
No.
but it's a very nice area. But we had been to Le Marche, and so we hadn't been to Puglia. So we did some research and we were studying and in that research process, we came across Salento with Love, and Davide Mengele, and so we weren't ready to purchase yet. We wanted to go and rent for a period of time, an extended period of time, a few months at a time, in different regions until we felt something that really touched our heart, that this is it, this is where we wanted to
Made it
be.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, so we contacted Anna Maria. We contacted Davide, and then
yeah.
Davide put us in touch with
Yeah.
Anna Maria.
Yeah.
We came out for a weekend. Anna Maria showed us a few different properties for rent. This is not to buy, but for rent. And we went, and we found one that we really liked, and we signed a contract for that. So that was over a weekend, and then we came back that was in the spring, and we came back in the autumn and spent 2.5 months, and it was property in Galatone. Um, then we got to really explore the region,
Yeah.
and we quite quickly, as I said, it originally was going to be several years of going around, but we very quickly fell in love.
Yes, we did.
Salento just ticked all of our boxes of what we wanted, where we wanted to be, the amount of coastline, the variety, the ease of getting around the area.
It's easy to
And
drive there, isn't it? It's so easy to drive on those flat roads. Like you
yeah,
hit
And
potholes in
walk
other
as
places.
well, the flat roads.
And walk
Yeah.
and bicycle riding. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of
there's
those. Yeah,
a lot of Italy is quite mountainous or
that's right.
hilly, and you think the Amalfi Coast, and you think of some of those other areas absolutely beautiful, but then when you think about some of the practicalities of getting around,
That's right.
it's much more challenging. And Salento, that peninsula in Puglia is just so easy to get around. So we found we could get around anywhere in the peninsula in within an hour's drive.
Yeah,
Um,
that.
and Galatene for us was well situated right off the main road between Gallipoli and Lecce. So it's 20 minutes to Lecce. If you wanted to go to a big city with 100,000 people, 20 minutes away and you're in Lecce. If you want to go to the coast, Santa Maria Bagno is the closest at 10 minutes away. You're only looking at 5 kilometers
Yeah,
to get there, and you're at the nearest beach. Gallipoli is only a little bit further, maybe
yeah, 15 minutes
15
most. We
minutes.
drove
Yeah.
by car, it's only
Yeah.
15 minutes. That's right.
Yeah, so it was just ideally suited for us. So the other thing for us was that it doesn't have a ZTL. And for those who may not understand, a ZTL is a no-go zone. Well, you need a special permit
Yeah,
to drive in. It's often in the Centro Storico, the historic center of Italian cities,
yeah,
and it's to limit the access and stuff. So a lot of them, like Galatina, Nardo, Gallipoli, all have
yeah, that's right.
ZTL regions in them. And for us, because for right now we're not able to go and stay for more than 3 months, which we'll probably get to in a little bit. we would not be able to apply for one of those permits.
Yes.
And so so it was nice. We wanted a place where we could still get around and not have to get a ZTL permit in order to drive up to our house.
Yes.
Uh,
That's right.
That's important, especially when you got a lot of groceries or whatever. It's
Yeah, for
easy just to
sure.
dry up, drop off whatever, and then park, wherever you need to as well. So I think that's hugely important. And the fact that parking is so close by, 5-10 minute walk to wherever you want to park, and nobody bothers your car. It's a very safe city that we fell in love with. So
Yeah,
and
we
it's not a tourist
no,
city. Galatene is, you have your tourist cities nearby, which have the typical things like Otranto and Gallipoli and stuff. But Galatene is an everyday town in Italy, which we wanted to be part of the community and not a tourist. So we really enjoy the fact of Galatene being just a regular town in this part of southern Italy. And so we quite quickly narrowed our search to not only this region, but really wanted to see if we could find something in Galatene specifically.
It's a really
So,
good point that you did bring up, because we have been discussing about people who are not sure on locations to actually go over there and actually rent first. So it's really good that you actually brought that up. So anyone that's actually thinking, I don't know what location, I've got an idea of the region, but here's a couple now that's actually done it. They've actually gone over, they rented, found the place that they wanted, happened to be where they rented, which was fortunate. I mean, some people might buy it in the next town or a couple of towns away. And Salento is, when Dave explains that, in 1 hour you can see that peninsula, it's actually true. We could go to see about 5-6 towns in the one day when you're there, and they're all different. They're all different. There's
oh yeah.
absolutely.
West Coast, and as you said, you've got Lecce the city, you've got Gallipoli, beautiful ancient historic centre there. You've got the castle there. So they're all got their own little unique style. So yeah, very, very well answered, very well, brought up there.
Yeah.
So good.
What
That's
was
good.
the process like for purchasing a home in Italy?
Yes.
Right. So, first off, we were very nervous about this, because we didn't want to get ripped off, and we know we didn't want to be taken advantage of by anybody, but we also knew we not knowing the language. I mean, we're learning Italian, but we're not fluent in it by any means. We don't know the culture, and we were very nervous about the possibility of getting ripped off. So the fact that we found Salento with Love as a property management service, and I do say service because they are like
Phenomenal. Yeah.
soup to nuts, everything from the
Yeah.
search process all the way through the purchase process, the renovation process, the management of the property afterwards, and even to renting, making the property available to rent. They cover it all.
And they reassure you a lot of things too. If you're nervous about thing, they're quick to respond. Oh, well, this is how you could do this, or why don't you try that, and that kind of stuff. And we've been so impressed with Salento with Love that it
Very
just,
fortunate. Very fortunate.
yeah,
And they had and it's not just wasn't just listening to them, but I mean they specialize in working with foreigners. So they were working like with you and with like us. Um, they know what we're struggling with and what we would need to deal with trying to buy a property from outside of Italy. But no, it wasn't just listening to them. It was all of the references that we've got, all of the people that we got to meet
Mm.
while we were staying there and renting. We got to meet a number of people that had already gone through the same process, and there was we couldn't believe how the rave reviews,
Yeah.
that everybody was so positive about the experience. There were no regrets whatsoever from anybody that we talked to about purchasing a property and doing so with Salento with love. And we're like, okay, even if we decided if wanted to go somewhere else, where else would we find somebody that could help us through this process
Dedication.
like we can here using Salento with love? And
Yeah.
so that sold it for us at that
Mhm.
point. So within a month, within the first month of our renting, and we decided we definitely wanted to go ahead and buy. We wanted to work with Salento with love to do so, and ideally around Galatine, although we were looking in other areas as well. Um, but yeah, so that's when we started actively searching to look to see what we could find.
Mm. How rewarding is it that you go there to look for property, you rent, then you find the right people, then you find the right property and you buy the property, and but you gain we, as you know, we call it the Salento with Love family. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
family. I mean, you're saying you're getting these rave reviews from everybody, but everyone had the same fear. Everyone went through the same process, and then they all meet up and find out that their stories are all the same. Like
Yeah, very similar.
everyone has similar stories, and I'd say a lot of people woke up in that 2020 period and decided it's time to do something. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And we've developing a regular community, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yourselves and other people in Galatine and some of the other cities
Right.
that we meet up with outside of. It's not all just with Salento with love, but
No,
once
no.
we met it, we've got our own little expat community going on that's just been brilliant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And even with the locals themselves, because they're so friendly. I mean,
Oh
They
yeah.
really are.
they are friendly and they speak English. Like everyone's afraid that they don't speak English, but a lot of them speak English.
Yeah.
Oh, we know we
A lot of
encountered
them
a
do.
lot. We encountered. And where we didn't, Michael was handy with
Translate.
his
Oh,
translator
Google Translate.
Yes.
and using the hand.
Cool.
Yeah.
They were willing to help.
Gesture.
All right.
A point and gesture kind of thing, I'd like this and that, and then
That's what I mean. They were approachable. You could do that, and yeah, it was quite fun.
Well, and we ended up buying our property on top of the best coffee shop in Galatine.
That's right. That's exactly right. 30-second walk to the
Every
coffee.
morning downstairs.
Yes, exactly.
The only drawback is every morning you hear the tap, tap, tap.
And the
6:30
smell of
in
the coffee.
It's right underneath our bedroom.
Oh,
Tap, 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 tap. It's coffee time.
yeah.
But I love that smell. Just the
smell,
aroma. I mean, I
yeah.
don't drink coffee, believe it or
It
not, but I
draws you
still
in.
love.
Yeah.
I love the aroma, and you just like the bar. How nice is it just to be at a bar in Italy, like anywhere, not just Galatone, but yeah, anywhere. So true.
Well, it's gone.
Yeah, but I've sort of combined some of your questions in my answers.
No, that's
No,
right.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. No, that's fine.
Yeah. Now this one, what do you love the most about your life in Salento?
Oh, I absolutely love the sea. And the food. The food, it floored me with the food of how everything tastes so fresh, such simple ingredients, and it just, when you put things together, it was like, wow, a simple tomato was like, blew my mind. That's the, I know it sounds kind of silly, but when you think of like the cheese and the meats and the tomatoes and everything, and it just, wow, that so, and putting it all together. So, and we like to cook as much and stuff. So, and the sea, just the water is so calm and clear, and it's very tranquil. So that's like our happy place in the way. So
Sunsets are
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, and the sunsets.
Yeah, sunsets are great.
sunsets, yes, just
Color.
stunning.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can just go like 5-10 minutes, get a nice drink, sit by the sea, and it's just heaven, absolutely heaven.
Yeah. Oh, I can feel it. I feel like I'm already there.
I'm missing it already, I tell you.
And for me, in addition to those things, it's the community, and it's the local community.
Yeah.
So, our house that we bought is right on top of Movida Retro Cafe, And so we go downstairs. Salvatore, Rosella, and Giulio are there, and they know what we want for our cappuccino and pasticciotto in the morning, and it's a lovely little chat with them. And then I'll go out over to Antonio's bakery, and this brick oven bakery that you come up to, and is just it's a few blocks from our house, and you just as you walk up to it, the smell
It
from the
draws you.
bakery,
Yeah.
it is just amazing. And it's always a difficult. I always tell them it's difficult when I come into their store to just select a few things because everything looks so good. And then you go to there's so many fruit and vegetable
Yeah.
stands all over the place
Yeah.
in the town. There's so many butchers. I mean, here where I am in the UK, you have no, you may have the Saturday market, but there's no fruit and vegetable stands open during the week. You only have your chain grocery stores, and you don't have where there's no butcher in our town or anywhere
Wow.
really close by. It's a several minute drive to get to the nearest butcher shop, and we've got five within walking distance.
Yeah.
It's just, and you find the places you like. The people you get to know you by name, and so
Yes.
it's you go in and they greet you and you greet them, and we'll ask what's good today and stuff, and they say, well, we just got this in from the farm and this is really good, or no, that's not quite ripe yet. You probably don't want to buy that yet. Wait another few weeks until it's more ripe. And just the community, when they get to know that you're not just passing through as a tourist and know that you're here as a regular, they go out of their way to make you feel
Welcome.
welcome.
Yeah.
And they're also very patient if they recognize Dave and I are learning the language, more so than he's more advanced than I am. But they're very patient and they're willing to very gently correct you if you say it wrong or if you're just a little bit unsure, then
Yeah.
Google Translate.
Yeah.
But again, they speak to you. They're very gentle. They're very happy that you're trying to learn with them and stuff, and then they're very generous and love to talk with you and just happy that
Find that.
yeah.
We found that especially in the south. We found that a lot in the south, didn't we? They're willing to, like you said, they're just willing to help you along. Like, I hear people say, oh, they don't speak, they don't this, and I go, yeah, but it depends how you're talking to them. Because I really think it's what you're expecting as well. So, but we found everyone was approachable, everyone wanted to help. Michael couldn't speak the language. They were correcting me because I speak Sicilian and I couldn't speak like they're Italian. And they would know. They go, oh, you're Sicilian. You're not, from me. And I go, oh, how do you know? They go, oh, we can tell by your accent. And then they go, oh, this is how we say it here. And I go, oh, good. So I was trying to learn the Pugliese way because the Pugliese way is different, like the way they pronounce certain things. And I was enjoying that. So, yeah. And I said to Michael, don't ask me for help because I speak a different dialect. So yeah, I love that. I love it.
What were some of the challenges you encountered, if any?
I think, well, with the process, patience. Um,
Italian time.
Things happen in
Italian time.
and this isn't meant to be critical at all. It's just that a lot of times we expect things are going to be on a set schedule and they will get done, and the work is excellent, the quality is excellent, but it doesn't always happen when you are thinking it's going to happen. So that was one thing. The renovations on our property took a little bit longer than expected, and then we had some work delays and some other things that happened, and we weren't quite always clear as to when they were going to show up to work and when they weren't working, and so forth. But um, I mean, the nice thing is that, you know, this with Salento with Love was not, when there were delays, we weren't being charged for the delays.
Yeah.
And so that was brilliant. And so, you know, we had a work stoppage because there were some issues that were encountered for about a 5 month period. And the scaffolding was up around our house for that entire time, yet we weren't charged a cent more for any of that. We were charged what they provided us, the initial quote, and we were charged that quote for the work that was done, even though the work ended up being delayed. And in most places that I would have expected that I would have been ended up being charged for those delays.
Yes.
And that was not the case here, which really surprised us.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest challenge I think was just being patient, letting them work in their time, because as an American and more of Northern European influence and stuff, we have a different set of time than
It's
they
not
do.
as instant.
I said it properly, like you said it correctly, Italian time. Once you know that,
Yeah,
chill out.
that's right. Just go with the
Yeah.
flow. Piano.
Yeah, with the piano, that's right. That's all it is.
So
Yeah.
now that your place is sort of pretty much done, you'll be planning on renting it out, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the plan, is when it's when we, because of the England is, we have dual citizenship with the UK and the US, but since England left, or the UK left the EU, we're limited like every other country to 90 days in the Schengen zone. So we spend spring and autumn in Italy, and then summer and winter back in the UK. And we drive.
Yeah.
It's about per Google Maps, it's about 22, 23 driving hours. We do it in 4 days. We aim for about 6 driving hours a day. But then we have we could fly. Brindisi's only an hour away for the airport. But then we have our own car, which is nice. We can carry more stuff because back and forth. So when we come over, we bring things, you know, for the house. Now, the first couple times the car was packed to the top, but now we're not bringing so much over. But we come back with wine and olive oil and other things that we're bringing back to our house in England. And it's part of the adventure too. It gives us an opportunity because we still like to travel, to see other parts of Europe. So we take different routes
Yeah.
back and forth between England and Italy, and we have friends along the way too that we get to stop and see
Yeah.
as well. So it's not that much of an issue, but we want to, when we retire, we will be eligible to then apply for a retirement visa. It's just that can only have passive income. We can't be actively working at the time, and then we want to stay full time. And then we'll only come back to England to visit the kids and grandkids. But no, that's the eventual plan, is to live there full time with the retirement visa.
That's good. It's good that you've got your plan there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you got any advice to give to others considering buying a home in Italy and possibly transitioning there full time?
I think for me, the advice would be, whatever your dream is, do it. You know, do your research, but don't be afraid to give it a go. You know, we have had so many people come up to us, oh, it's amazing that you had a dream and you did it, and we'd love to do that. Well, why don't you? Why
What's
can't
stopping
you?
you? Yeah.
You know, there's nothing there is a way. You just need to find it. You know, if you have the dream in your heart, go for it. Find what makes you happy, what brings joy to your life, because then if you're enjoying life, then you can share that joy with other people, with your friends and family members and other people you encounter. And there's nothing there's no limits really to that. There's more than one way to do something. And Yeah.
Just go for
and,
it.
And if Italy is your dream, go for it.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. I do hope that people actually heard you there, because I think the biggest fear for them is actually fear. They just don't think it's doable for them, and whenever there is a roadblock there straight away, they'll just step away rather than saying, "How can I get over it?" So,
Yep.
all right, we're going to wrap it up there,
Wrap it up. Yep.
and thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
It was great to see you guys, because we're in
Hey.
contact through Messenger and through WhatsApp, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
so it's great, and we'll catch up again next year and see you there.
See you
So
soon.
See you
Yeah,
soon.
we'll see you soon. So thank you so much for your time. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
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 Arrivederci.
Ciao, alla prossima.
Buonanotte. Buongiorno for you.
Buongiorno for you.